Alright, now these are 5 figures I can get behind. In front of me, I have the full comic book series, from the Shockwave to the Emirate and Flame set. Altogether, these pieces look amazing, and I'm glad I picked up the whole set. I know I already have a Shockwave, and I already have the Galvatron mold, but this set makes up for it. Moving all of our figures out of the way, we can take a look at these absolutely fantastic boxes. Now, if I move them any closer, you'll miss out on all of them, but if I turn Shockwave a little bit, there we go. On here we have the More Than Meets the Eye comic art for Shockwave. The All Are Dead is most infamous, or, well, in this case, the most known pose that we've seen Shockwave in. This is the comic series where he literally killed Optimus Prime because Megatron won't. Then we have the box for Grimlock. This is the first issue where they introduced the Dinobots, and I just love the look of this artwork. They did fantastic on reproducing it for this box. Then we have the More Than Meets the Eye, where we first meet Straxus, and Blaster gets a rival that is not Soundwave, which is a pretty good, I'd say that's a pretty good turn of events for the Blaster character. And then over here we have the Flame and Emirate Xaaron 2-pack, which is one of the characters that I'm least familiar with, but I know that Flame's not all good. He wears the Autobot symbol, but he's done some shit. Alright. Coming to this side of the box. That fits in a bit better. We have a whole bunch of little snippets and bits and pieces from the comics, like Megatron fighting the Dinobots there. Then you've got Shockwave in his alt mode, Megatron being strung up by some tentacles. Obviously Straxus fighting against Blaster there, giving a bit of a shank to the back. You can see she has a pretty similar alt mode to Galvatron there. And then obviously we have Flame and Emirate in their respective scenes on the side there. Taking a look at the backs of these boxes, even the backs are just stylish. And I like, with the Shockwave box, I like the subtle nudge to the Dinobots on Grimlock's box. And you got him there, blasting away at Grimlock. Can we just say, do we remember Red Shockwave? That was a couple of pages, but it happened. Yeah, these are just really well done boxes. These are all part of the 40th anniversary lineup, which is, again, a pretty good opportunity for them just to release a whole bunch of stuff that we wouldn't get along the main line. I would love for them to do a full series or comic where they take, like, the cover-up main character and slap him into a box like this, because I would be buying every single one of them. Now, this is also a really good way to get the Shockwave and the Grimlock, and, well, 3 mostly comic exclusive characters. But these were the 2 reasons why I picked it up. But then I was convinced to pick up him, and then I had 3, so I went ahead and bought the other 2, and I am so glad that I did. Now, coming around to the final side here of the boxes. Now, they do something a little special. You grab them here and you can just kind of squish them together, and you get this little diorama. Brand new artwork from the original creator of all 5 of these guys fighting against each other. I think that's excellent. That's a really well done design choice. yeah, well worth the pickup to keep the boxes as well. Not much to say about the other parts of the boxes. Shuffle these guys out of the way. You'll be able to see them for the rest of the video probably. I don't have a lot of space at the minute. Nothing but the usual stuff on the bottom, barcode, and on the top of Grimlock you just get this little photo of what looks to be 2 Grimlocks, Snarl and Sludge, or Slug, sorry, with Ratchet there, and I think that's Megatron there. Not too sure, but I know that's Ratchet. And then, yeah, it's Grimlock's box. On the top of Shockwave's box, you just have him on the top bit there being like, Megatron, they'll help you, I promise. Or I guess something like that. But yeah, he's up there. On the top of old mate Straxus's box, you have what looks to be a bunch of Decepticons. You got, say, Laserbeacon, Buzzsaw, Ravage, Shockwave, say there, Skywarp, Starscream and Thundercracker. Then you got Megatron and Soundwave. Not sure what the Penguin is, but I'm going to call that Penguin. Might be Ratbat. So I don't think that's Rumble or Frenzy, unless it's a Lego Man. And you got like Straxus' face up in the clouds. I thought that was cool. Again, just barcode and security thing, so I don't run off with it. And then Flame and Emirate's box on the top here. You got Flame doing a pose or skipping along like an anime girl, and then you've got Emirate Xaaron just standing there doing his thing. Very Megatron inspired, which is kind of fitting that they used the Megatron mold for this and then did it for Xaaron. They all have this really nice Velcro like comic book cover. They all have like a little detail on the inside here, just displaying a little bit about each character, which I thought was nice. I'll show you again on all of these ones. It's nice, I don't really need anything to compare to this video because they're all very different sizes. I might get Blaster down for, and a couple of the Dinobots, but nice big photo of decapitated Optimus being used to power the Matrix. And him be like, what the fuck, you got Optimus? Why Optimus? Why he on the bed? And then finally Grimlock box. I still have all the paperwork in here. Yeah. Nice little photo of Ratchet giving his little boys a talk. I'm not sure if that's meant to be Swoop off in the distance, but it's a black line. Alrighty. Let me just get a couple of comparisons to show you. Alright. Let me just fix this up for a second. So, out of the wave, I think Shockwave was first. So let's grab Shockwave out of here. Now, Shockwave's a pretty solid figure. I have loved this Shockwave mold for a while now. Ever since getting my hands on the Nemesis Bridge set, because I missed out on the Siege. So this is the Siege mold, just redone slightly for that comic look. He comes with a little bit of stuff, not a lot, more so just this really disturbing decapitated Optimus Prime head, which is more in that you could say G2 color design. What's the focus? Focus on the head. Come on. Stop autofocus it there for a second. Doesn't want to focus. Come on. Show the head off. Ah. Anyway, you can get the gist of it. It's just a blue Optimus Prime head with yellow eyes and a white mouth plate. There's this little spinal cord hanging out. You can take the head off. It does fit on the 86 and the Earthrise and Siege Prime, because it is a ball joint. It does fit that. So technically you could put their heads on here as well. There is some self-assembly required. You've got to put these bits in and connect this on. But it's pretty nice. I don't know if you can see it very well on camera, but there are those like polka dot effects from the comics all across. Oh, that's pretty good there on the corners. So I thought it's quite nice. Looks really good. Putting that to the side there. And then obviously he comes with himself. He's got the removable tube for his cannon. And so on. Alright. There's plenty of videos out there discussing this mold, so I won't talk too much about it. But here is the Nemesis Bridge 3-pack version of the mold, which I still think is superior with that amazing light piping. They actually stack up quite well next to each other. He's a bit more muted, like a pastel-y colour, whereas he's more show accurate, I would say, in a sense. But they look quite good together. They are identical molds, just one's a bit more unified. I do prefer the white backpack than the pink backpack here, just because it looks a bit more shockwavy. Yeah. And I prefer the light piping than the painted eye, because this light piping just works everywhere it is. Review coming on this soon, but there's the two of them together. Let's move on to our next one in this pack. So I think second to release was our buddy boy Grimlock. Now Grimlock here comes with a lot of accessories. Now I don't have any of the other Grimlocks to compare him to as of now, but I'll be sure to use this guy when I do get those other Grimlocks. Now I'll talk about some of the details first. I much prefer this chest piece over what we got with the Studio Series. This yellow with the Autobot logo printed on top of it, not behind it, in that grey plastic, was a big seller for me. And I've always preferred the blue Grimlock because it makes Swoop feel a bit less left out. But I get what they mean by they can't give him a blue eye if he's got a blue head. To the back, his kibble is so clean on this figure, like I can still stick him right back to the shelf without him obstructing too much. I do wish that they still gave him the coloured shins, but it's comic accurate, so I can't complain. I can't have both colour schemes in one. That's him. Now I do have his other two Season 1 dinos with him. I have Slug and Sludge, or Slag and Sludge, depending on who you're more orientating it to. So that's how he stacks up with his boys. Now a big thing was with Grimlock was he didn't come with his sword. So Swoop actually came with 2 swords, but then the comic Grimlock decided, hey, let's just throw in a bunch of random 3 swords. So I think that's Slugs, or Sludges. This is Slugs, Slug, Sludge, and Grimlock. I think that's the 3. Or it might be the big sword from Swoop is Grimlock's, but he comes with 3 swords. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but he comes with 3 swords. He can hold all 3 of them, but most importantly, he comes with... I'm going to sneeze. His Dinobot crown, which is an amazing touch. It is red on the inside, but it's painted. And that just clips really well onto his head. It's all friction, but that looks fantastic. And just for the final photo, I'll bring in his other 2 Dinobot friends here. There's the all 5 of them together. They look great. I love them. I love the Dinobots. They're big, chunky pieces of plastic. And that's what I'm saying about the Swoop. Like, just that little bit of blue makes Swoop feel that more cohesive with the 5 of them. Because without that sort of... yeah. I think I prefer this Grimlock over the Studio Series, but I still will own that at some stage. Alrighty. Let's move Grimlock out of the way for us. Oh, actually, I did bring in Ratchet over here. And here he is with one of his 2 creators. I couldn't be bothered grabbing Wheeljack down, but there he is with Ratchet. Alrighty. Now, who was next? I think Straxus was next on that list. Here is Straxus. I think he's the protector of the forges. I think he looks after all like the smelting pits and stuff. Now, he doesn't come with too much. He comes with, on his back here, he comes with his blaster, which he can just hold in his hands, or you can clip onto his shoulder like a Megatron cannon, if you want. Then he also does come with his little battle axe, which has done quite well. It's got these little moving hook pieces. That's more for his artillery mode, but yeah, you can hold that as well. This is his more known weapon. It's the thing that he strikes Blaster with first. So, speaking of mold comparisons, this is one that I can actually do again. He shares the exact same mold with the 86 and Legacy, well, the Legacy and now 86 Kingdom Galvatron mold, and you can see he stacks up quite well size-wise. I think he's actually just that little bit taller. I think they've given him... no. I think that's just a perception thing. No, they look good together. And one more size comparison. Here he is with his enemy, the 86 film Blaster figure. I do have the Kingdom one, / Legacy. This is the one that I had on hand, so... yeah. Wait, almost knocked him over. And that's really it for Straxus. He's got a bit of the comic detailing on his shoulder there, on both. Sort of down his arms there, he's got a bit of it in light grey. He's got these new tread pieces and a fair bit of new backpack kibble that Galvatron doesn't have. Yeah. Some shading on the underside of his arms there. Fantastic head sculpt, actually. I really like this thing. Just knock that off. I'm having such a hard time with this thing focusing. Yeah, really good head sculpt. He does have little purple eyes back there, but you can't see him too well because his head's actually hollow, and there's a pocket back there with a little bit of purple paint splashed in the back. So, see if I can get a photo of that later for you. But that's Straxus. And coming along to the final 2 characters that were released in this set, you've got Flame. and Emirate Xaaron. Did I say? Yeah, Emirate Xaaron. Now these guys pretty much come with what they're wearing. You get the same fusion cannon piece from the Studio Series Gamer Edition Megatron. You can hold that like a gun, or you can mount it on your wrist. The exact same to the Gamer Edition Megatron, but I prefer just to leave it on his back, because why not? Why not? And then here you've got little Emirate Xaaron, who is actually the Siege Reflector mold, or Refractor as he's called in single pack, which was a pretty big surprise for me, because they wanted a he's got quite a Megatron inspired design in the comics from what I could see, and they translated that really well into little Refractor over here. Now all these pieces on his back and stuff come off to make him look a bit more Emirate-y, but yeah, I just leave him on so I don't lose him. Emirate's got a fair bit of comic detail going on here. He's got a bit of the polka dots going across his chest there, the shaded detail there and there on the legs. Again with more polka dots here and there. And coming to the back, he's pretty plain. It's just a Refractor mold again. I think these are new though. I think the little skis are new. I don't know. I don't own the Refractor mold, so you'll have to correct me on that for now. And looking at Flame, Flame doesn't have any of those little comic dots on him, as far as I could see. He's got shading there, a little bit of shading there. Oh no, I lied. He's got like only there on the side of the chest he's got little comic dots, but I will compare him to his design alike. I have the Kingdom Rodimus on hand here. You can see that he shares a fair bit of element designs like the flame with the orange surround, with the red body, with the red, well in this case it's orange upper arms, but he's got red lower arms, grey hands, same like similar cowboy boots looking design. Even like this flange on the back kind of mimics what the Hot Rod wing does. But yeah, that's the two of them together. Now let's get them into vehicle mode. Alright, now that they're in vehicle mode, let's take a look at Shockwave. Now, take the camera down just a little bit here. Shockwave is his Siege Space Cruiser as of previously. Still the same mold, so he's still the same vehicle. Little kickstand at the front there, and the little wings for his little flight deck. This mold's been seen plenty of times, so if you know, you know. You can fold this away, fold these down, and you've got his blaster mode. That be with a little bit of sag to the front of it. But shh, the government doesn't know. Could be for scanning barcodes, like oh yes, you want jazz today? Boop! And there you go. Put it in the trolley. But getting these back up for a second. I don't bother with the flat stand. Let's bring in his Nemesis Bridge counterpart. You can see them stack up pretty well. There's their quote-unquote household appliances. They are pretty much identical. I only realized how much the front end of my regular Shockwave kind of comic one kind of sags, kind of curves. That might be a QC thing. That one's pretty straight. Yeah. That's Shockwave in his vehicle mode. He doesn't have any weapon storage or anything, so he is what he is. Kill. Moving on to our one and only Dinobot friend Grimlock. Now, this head sculpt is immaculate. I wasn't too much of a fan in photos of the comic lines on his face, but I have grown to love it. He's still missing his front teeth there, but not something I can really do much about without some third-party upgrade kits. As you can see, it's got weapon storage up here on his back. Just these two blue pegs on the side peg into these two square holes towards the back of him. Line them up and just peg them in. Here we go. There you go. Yeah. Have him roaring. Get ready to mow down Megatron. Because Megatron not stronger than Grimlock. Or something like that. Let's bring in Slug. Right there, you can see how well he stacks up. How's his other leg touching, but this leg's not? Ah, there we go. And you can have Slug there screaming with him. And let's bring in Sludge. There you go, you can have Sludge screaming as well. And let's grab Snarl as well. Him just down here by me. There he is. And last but not least, Swoop. I gotta find someone to put him because he's also really big. Right. These guys up a little bit. Oh. I don't need to do that for you, Snug. And there you go, you can kind of get the picture of them all together. I don't have a flight stand or anything for Swoop, so that's as good as it's getting. But nah, Grimlock is well worth the pickup. And he's like, I think he's like, in Australian, he's about $10 cheaper than what the Studio Series released for, so Gamesman, good spot to pick up from. Not sponsored, but that is a good spot to get figures from. Next, we have our Straxus. Now, okay, it is just blue Galvatron, but they have done a fair bit of remodeling. These are new. These are new. This is new. This is new. And that's it. All of the comic stuff kind of hides away in this mode, except for on the barrel here underneath, and on the what was the arms. Now that is weapon storage on the back for his mining pickaxe, or his forged pickaxe, whatever you want to call it. It's just up there with a little plug or a slot cut out for the top on it. And his gun is on the front. Exact same port, so if you wanted to, you could take Galvatron's cannon and stick it right in there. And that pretty much just makes it look like Galvatron. Putting this back on. Putting him to this side. Let's grab Galvatron while we're on that topic. And boom, there is Galvatron. Now, mine's not really set up. There we go. They are meant to be massive, because if you remember from the 86 film, he does transform into this and absolutely disintegrate Starscream. But that's for another video. There he is. You can see besides really the barrel and this top section, they're pretty much identical. Actually, I did notice that he doesn't have those knee pieces either, so that's a new part of the mold as well. He's obviously a bit more of a stationary cannon, he's a bit more of a mobile cannon, being that he has wheels and he doesn't. He's just got these solid flat surfaces. Oh, actually, he does have a wheel. Huh. I completely missed that. Mine don't want to spin. Not much to talk about with old Straxus, except that he's an amazing colour scheme with this mold, and it's very well done. Yep. So, if you remember how to transform this, you remember how to transform this. That's another thing. It gets easier as you transform it. I used to struggle transforming this back and forth. That's the Galvatron mold in Straxus. And last but not least is Emirate and Flame in their respective tank modes. So, fair bit of tankage going on with this. And you throw in Straxus there, he's also a tank. In tank mode, here is little Emirate. He still has the little, what would you call them, skis at the front. I guess they're like a support, but yeah, he looks alright as a little tank here. I don't think he actually ever does transform. I think if he transforms, there's something about like he would never be able to untransform again, or he just fall apart. But the tank barrel does spin. He's got a little cockpit window in there, which I think is the exact same as the refractor mold. These treads actually do, if I can get it off, they just clip on. So he is a parts former, but that is kind of his whole thing. Other than that, it's a nice little tank. He is blast effect compatible. I don't have any blast effects with me right this second. And then pretty much an identical tank to what we saw with the Gamer Edition Megatron. No articulation at the barrel. It is kind of what it is. Barrel is removable though. It's just on a 5mm port. So if you wanted to, you could mount it to the top here again. That just looks silly. But he's yeah, I think just these shoulder pieces are really what's been redone from the Megatron. Underneath is pretty messy as well, because he kind of just folds his arm up and the chest comes down and the head's still there. It's a good looking mold though, but I'm primarily I'm probably just going to keep him in robot mode for that matter. Same with Xaaron, because he doesn't really transform. Now let's bring back in Straxus. His alt mode. If he wants to lend me a hand with making himself a bit small for the camera. Xaaron. Big old buddy Grimlock. And our Shockwave. A little bit more so Shockwave can come in the frame there. There he is. That's what they look like together anyway. I think it's an amazing set to pick up. It is expensive. You've got $89, $89. I think they're $90 and $65 for the set. It's an expensive lot to pick up, but it is well worth it for the Grimlock and the Shockwave if you don't have either of those already. And these three are pretty good on their own. So if you like this video, like and subscribe. If you didn't, it's okay. There's other content for you out there, and There are plenty of other reviews on how to transform all 5 of these and how to use the weapon storage and stuff. This is just a quick overview of my thoughts and what molds they share, and yeah. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.